Hi, everybody. I'm Erika Burnett, and I'm coexisting with IBS. I wanted to share my story with you about how IBS has become a real issue in my life. I was diagnosed with IBS many years ago, and I think I might have mentioned that in my introduction. But during COVID, it got worse. In the beginning, I had simple signs which I didn't think much of. I had a little bit of bloating, I had some constipation and some water retention. So I got in, got on my treadmill and I began to, exercise. And I said, well, maybe that'll help because I did not know really that it was water retention and bloating. I said, well, maybe you sitting here, you just gaining weight, and you just eating too much. So I said, exercise. I said, maybe that'll help. I didn't know I had gas. So I said, maybe that'll help relieve whatever. It wasn't working. And I would do an hour, 3 days a week, and it wasn't working. So then I started to develop pain in my left abdomen. And so I talked to nurses. At that time, it was virtual. So, we couldn't go into the office. So I showed the nurse, virtually where the pain was and everything. And she said that it sounded like diverticulosis. And I later found out that diverticulosis is common. So they say, I think for people beginning like ages 40 and up, it's a common thing where you have pockets in the colon. Pockets develop in the colon. And if you don't keep your colon clean and you don't keep removing your bowels, moving your bowels on a regular basis, they can become infected. So I said, okay, so maybe that's the problem or whatever. So in the meantime, while I am, getting ready to, for my appointment, all that stuff, I began simultaneously dropping weight. Within like a week or two, I dropped like at least 25 to 30 pounds. I weighed 166. And by the time I got on the scale, when I was at the doctor's office, I finally got to go in for that and they weighed me. I was down to like 130. I had dropped. So that's over 30 pounds I dropped. And I noticed the weight loss and I looked very sickly, in the face. And I was like, what is going on? Why did I lose so much weight? Well, I attribute it to when they told me that, it was the IBS acting up and let me go back because I'm skipping. I got to the point where I could not, before I went to get my colon looked at, I had dropped the weight and I could not um, really eat much. Just about everything I ate would cause bloating. And I was one who liked nuts and I liked, string beans. And one thing I was eating was one drinking was a protein shake it was a chocolate protein shake and I would do banana in it with, almond milk and all that stuff. So I was doing that and I couldn't even, I began not to be able to digest that at all. And that was a drink and my stomach would just get so bloated and so sore and that wasn't working. So I literally had to stop eating all of the stuff that I was used to eating. And I was so afraid to eat anything at all. I went to, finally I found like I would taste like tuna fish out of a can and spinach. I said, well, let me try these things. And I tried those and they were fine. So I literally was eating every day for lunch and dinner. Most times I was eating tuna fish with a little bit of organic honey mustard and spinach. And that's it. Now, mind you, with all of that going on, 3 days straight, I never would pass my bowels. I could not. For some reason, I even took Miralax. Nothing happened. I finally was able to go to, the bathroom when I was getting ready to have my colonoscopy done. And when they give you, the preparation kit and all that stuff. So I did that, and finally all of everything that I had eaten for those 3, maybe 4 days, I could be wrong, maybe 4 days, everything, you know, I was relieved of everything. So that's when I found out, the doctor said that, Cole, you need to have a high fiber diet, but at the same time I could not, because my IBS had flared up so much that a lot of fiber was out of the question. So now I'm between a rock and a hard place, because I'm told I need to eat fiber, a lot of fiber. At the same time, IBS says no, you can't, because it will cause a lot of bloating and water retention and all that because of my, condition. So another thing, and I started to research. I started to research IBS and found out that one of the main components is stress. Another one, bad eating habits. You know, and there's another one, the bad eating habits, and I think those are the main two, but I think there's other causes, and I just did like a little research not too long ago, and for some reason I'm having brain freeze and can't remember, but I'm sure it'll pop up. But so, I literally had to stop, and I had to throw all of the stuff out. Like, I can't eat broccoli, cauliflower. I can't eat cabbage. Cabbage literally destroys my stomach. I can't eat kale. No nuts. No, nothing with hard skin. So even grapes. I tried grapes one time and it didn't seem to bother me, but my system was so sensitive at the time. I haven't tried it lately, that the grapes, I was having a hard time digesting, the grapes going through. No peas, can't do peas, no beans, any of that. So I was it was suggested that I stay away from beef, because beef is hard to digest for the human body. So I was told to stay away from that, and sodas and stuff like that. So I don't drink any soda, and I don't drink any juice. Nothing with all of the added preservatives and acid in it. Now, mind you, a lot of stores do have, healthier, juices without all the sugar and things like that. My body does not like even those that are on the healthier side. So I have to search out stuff that's, just because it says organic doesn't mean, my body will like it. I have to search out for things that are made basically from scratch, homemade, with no added anything in them. And I'm now 4 years later just finding, certain places where they have the stuff that's like homemade with no added anything. It's just all fruits and vegetables, and I can drink that. And I know the question might be, why don't you get a juicer? And I have a juicer. I'm one who doesn't like to cook. So that brings me to another thing that may have caused it, along with being stressed with the pandemic and all that stuff, was not only, I was one who ate a lot of processed foods. So I because I don't like to cook, I ate the barbecue chicken that's in the freezer, and all you have to do is pop it in the oven or pop it in the microwave. That was me. The only thing I would really cook is rice, and I would cook like frozen vegetables. That's it. I never liked to cook. So now I'm forced to cook, and I'm forced to find things that my body likes, because IBS says you can't have that. And my IBS is so sensitive to the point where I could sip, and I tried something at work one day. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's also one thing I do a lot. There's a lot of belching that I do that I didn't do before, before it got worse. But one time at work, I tried a soda, and it wasn't a soda, it was a seltzer, like a seltzer soda, and I forgot the name of it. And they come in different flavors, but I can't remember what the name of it is. So what I did was I just sipped it. I just sipped a tiny bit just to see what it was like. Immediately, my stomach said, no, you don't. It just said, mm-mm. It gave me a warning saying no. So I really cannot. And and it's hard because I can't eat this stuff. And most of the places that I go to, any parties, any gatherings, restaurants, and all of that nature, I have to look at the menu. And if the menu does not tell me all of the ingredients, to a point where I say, I know I'm safe in eating something there, I can't eat it. I can't eat it. I'll ask the questions to see, how is this cooked? And I have to grill, the poor waiters or waitresses, and I have to ask questions and say, does this have dairy in it? Because I can't have dairy either. So I'm not eating dairy. So I have to scrutinize the whole menu. I have to ask a bunch of questions. I have to make sure that ingredients that are in whatever I'm hoping to eat or hoping to enjoy doesn't have anything that will make my IBS flare up, because I'm that sensitive. I cannot. I go over to my mom's house and my mother cooks, everything she cooks is from scratch. And she has this homemade cake that's a 7-Up cake that I absolutely love and always have. I used to sit there and eat the batter when I was younger. After she finished, I used to go ahead and, how you lick the bowl. I used to do that. So now, can't do it. And sometimes I'll go through the punishment of it, just to taste, taste it again every now and again. But I can't do it. I'm in here searching now for ways and things that I can make, products that I can, like products and foods and things that I can enjoy, like cookies. And I'm taking recipes offline and trying to change them and switch them up and trying to learn how to create certain things that fit, my dietary needs, because it's hard even going to places like Whole Foods. And there's another supermarket I like to go to, and now the name escapes me, but it's near me, not too far away, and I can't remember the name. But other food markets who sell more of your organic, more of your natural stuff like that. I can find some stuff, like I can eat oatmeal. Oatmeal doesn't bother me, but it has to be gluten-free oatmeal. Gluten doesn't like me either. Gluten makes me bloated as well. I have to stay away from acidic foods. And that's mostly because of my acid reflux. So I have acid reflux, IBS, and diverticulosis, all three. The acid, the tomatoes, does affect the IBS, even though it's acidic, and that's more along the lines and of what acid reflux would flare up, but it also affects that. So when you have what you call your food map diet, or FOD, I think they pronounce it, diet, where you have low food map, they're low in like carbohydrates and things of that nature. A lot of that stuff does not work for me, is because my body is that sensitive. So I'm kind of always walking on eggshells about what I can and cannot eat. And sometimes I'll go like family members' houses and different places, and I just cannot. I have to stand around, and a lot of the stuff I cannot eat. And sometimes I can't eat at all. So I have to eat before I leave home, before I even go somewhere, because I can't enjoy the food, because I know it'll give me an IBS flare up, which is rough. It's rough to have to walk on eggshells, but I have to do what I got to do to maintain my health. And I know sometimes I may get on folks' nerves about, talking about, health and things of that nature, because I know what it feels like. I used to weigh 211 pounds, but before I get to that, and when I go back, before I get to that, and I'm going to double back for a minute, I had sharp pains in my stomach and I didn't know what it was. Um, like before the pandemic. This was a few years or so before the pandemic. I would have sharp pains in my stomach, and this was not even after. But see, I can't even say that. I don't know. I don't know. It might have been the cabbage. I think it was one night I had cabbage, and all of a sudden my stomach had such sharp pains that I couldn't really do anything but lay down and rub my stomach, and that really didn't help. I just had to wait for it to pass. So I had early signs. I just thought that maybe it was just, you know, really nothing. So a little gas pains or whatever, it'll pass, and then it got worse. And the other symptoms that I haven't talked about, I talked about the water retention. I talked about the bloating and the gas. But what I didn't talk about, what else I didn't talk, I talked about the diverticulosis and the acid reflux, but I did not mention that the IBS, the gas from the IBS acting up, the flare-ups, literally sits in my back. Sometimes I can wake up. I can wake up in the middle of the night because I rolled over to kind of sleep. Sometimes I'll sleep on my stomach. So I'll roll over on my stomach and I'll just lay. And sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night with severe lower back pain. It's not because I was sleeping the wrong way or anything like that. The gas literally, because I can feel it, sits in my back. And it just sits there, and sometimes it takes weeks. If I eat something that doesn't agree with me, and mind you, I don't know whether anything is going to agree with me or not. If I try something new, I don't know until the after effects that I'm cleared, because it takes little of no time for my body to respond, and I would say maybe 30 minutes, sometimes earlier than that. So I don't know, so the side effects from an IBS flare-up for me, and like I said, among all those other things I mentioned, it sits right on my back and it will stay there for weeks before it goes away. And with the bloating as well. And the thing about the bloating is that it sits on my bladder, and it just sits there, and it makes me believe that I have to go to the bathroom every half hour or so, to relieve myself. At the same time, almost nothing. So I'm running back and forth to the bathroom, and really that's not it. It's just the gas is just sitting in my stomach, and it's just pressing down on my bladder. That doesn't go away for like 2 weeks when I have a flare up, or sometimes more than that. Then I get the sore abdomen. My abdomen is sore, and I can feel some of the pain just lingering and moving from side to side. And then that will make, the gas retention and all that weight in my abdomen. My abdomen is sore. And then I'll get the pain on the side from the diverticulosis, because that weight has been sitting there so long, it just agitates it. So those are all of the things that I go through with all of this. And, and I don't want to sit there and browbeat people with, take care of yourself. You got to watch what you eat. And I try not to do that. I just try to, when someone mentions something, and say, all right, be careful with that and whatever have you. And I don't want to browbeat people, because really at the end of the day, we as human beings use food as comfort. And so when you try to take something that comforts us away, we block it out. We ain't trying to hear it. We want to shoot the messenger sort of thing. And it's not coming from a place of I'm perfect and I'm, whatever. I used to weigh 211 pounds, and it was due to water retention. It was due to, bloating and all of that stuff. It was due to mainly poor eating habits and a little stress added to that. You know what I mean? So that's why, it's important that you eat as healthy as possible, because we only get one body. You don't want to end up with all these different health issues that you can't get rid of. Now, once they're set, they're set. You know what I mean? So you just have to, you gotta maintain. Now, I believe the body can be healed. I believe you can get better. I don't think it I don't think it goes away, but you can maintain it. And that's the thing. You can maintain your body. You can do what is necessary to live a healthy life. You do not have to live taking a bunch of medicine. I don't take any medicine at all. And it's not that I refuse to, I just don't need to. I don't need to. I don't take any cholesterol medicine. I don't take any, high blood pressure. I don't take anything. I don't even get headaches like I used to. I used to get headaches all the time. I don't even do that anymore. The only things that the ailments that I have is when I have those flare-ups. And when I have those flare-ups, it causes inflammation, and sometimes in my joints. Sometimes I will go to walk down the steps and my knees will be sore. And that's how I know there's something going on when my IBS done kicked in, and then, and that takes some time to get rid of. So I try to exercise regularly. I hate exercising, and I'm not going to sit up here and act like I love it, because I do not love exercising at all. But I force myself to do it. And if I don't, do the concentrated exercise, which I call what I get on the treadmill, I take a walk on my lunch break when I go into the office, and then I take a walk and get some exercise. That way you get some fresh air and some, exercise. It's not easy. It's not easy to walk on eggshells every day of your life, because you don't know what, that you're going to eat that's going to cause a flare up. Now, I'll let you know something. Now, sometimes I can eat the same thing that I've been eating, and it hasn't bothered me. And then what will happen is I will eat the same thing one day, and my stomach will say, nope. That's how sensitive it is. IBS makes your body extremely sensitive to your emotions, your mental state, all of that. So if you're stressed, and I can't remember where I heard it or read it, that when you're stressed, it's a bad idea to eat, because your body does not process the food well when you're stressed. I agree with that. We might not want to hear it, because most of us stress eat. I've stress eaten, for many years. I'm limited now, so it stops me from doing all of that stress eating. But it's just that food is here to nourish us. It's not here to provide us with comfort. So we just got to find another way, because I don't want anybody to have to go through what I go through right now, because I'm surrounded by family and friends and things that, and not things, but family and friends who can pretty much eat what they want. They can sit and eat what they want. I can't. So all the things that I loved at one point, like the chocolate and the cupcakes and the muffins and the bagels and all that stuff, now I'm eating little pieces of whole wheat bread that's about this thin. Eat with some oatmeal for breakfast. I can only eat certain fruits, which are blueberries, cherries, cantaloupe, honeydew, watermelon. I can eat apples and pears, but the only way I can eat apples and pears is if I cook them. So I cook them down, and I put like a little bit of cinnamon on them, and I eat them that way. Other than that, it's not really much I can eat. Not really much I can eat in way of fruits. I can eat avocado, which is a fruit. Vegetables, I eat greens, and I can't eat high in fiber, which I found this out later. Brown rice is high in fiber. Didn't know that collard greens were high in fiber. Didn't know this, and I'm telling the truth, because like I said, I didn't like to cook, so I didn't get all into what was what. I went to eat collard greens and collard greens and brown rice at the same time. And my stomach blew up so big and didn't go down for like about 2 weeks because of it. I did some research and found out, I said, okay, so what's going on? I said, because I normally eat this. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I look it up and come to find out both are, I knew brown rice was. I did not know greens were. So I can't eat those both at the same time. So either I'm eating brown rice by itself, or I'm eating collard greens with maybe some white rice. Can't eat the brown rice and the greens together because it creates too much fiber in the body, and which will make me bloated, water retention, and all of that stuff. So I had to go through that process again with the pain in my back and all that stuff. And it lasts for two, maybe more weeks, 3 weeks maybe at a time. So that's why I press that. And I want people to take care of themselves, because you don't want to be in that state where you have to be on medication for something that you can kind of manage. It might not be what you want to do, but in my opinion, it beats having to take medication, for something like that, when all you have to do is maintain, I just had an episode. This is another one that I learned. I had an episode that just went down. My stomach just went down and it kind of flattened out. It was with, I ate, what did I do? Oh, I was eating too fast. I'm a person who's always, which didn't help, but I'm just quick. I just eat really, really fast. Eating really, really fast is not good. First of all, for anybody in their digestion, not good at all. You need to chew your food and eat slowly, because what happens is that the faster you eat, the more air you take in, which causes bloating and gas. And it can do that for a person who has an average digestive system, meaning you have no digestive issues. So it can cause bloating stuff for your average person. People with IBS, you eat fast and you do not chew your food, it will make you bloated, cause water retention. Now, I'm talking about myself. IBS has different everyone's flare-ups are different. Nobody's flare-ups are the same. You have some people who can eat acidic foods, and acidic foods can cause gas. Some people don't have flare-ups. Some people can still eat tomato sauce. They can still eat tomatoes. Stuff I can't. That stuff bothers me. My body won't take it. It won't take any kind of acidic foods. I stay away from lemons. No lemons, no limes, not even pineapple. Pineapple is full of acid. I can't eat pineapples. It's a lot. Certain foods, if they are too coarse, too solid, too tough, I can't eat those either. My digestive system has a problem, or it has to work extra hard for to break down any coarse food for it to go through. So most of the food I eat is baked chicken. I don't eat any fried foods at all. So everything is baked. Baked chicken, baked fish, baked turkey, and that's all I eat. I don't eat pork or beef. I found a recipe for squash that I do, and I was not an eater of squash. Didn't like it. You couldn't pay me to eat it. Now I eat me some squash. I found a recipe and I adapted that recipe, to what my body liked, and then I did that, and now I'm eating squash, and it tastes pretty good. I can eat sweet potatoes. I can eat eggplants, zucchini, mushrooms. So I have my pickings, and these are things that I would normally eat. Only in this case, because all the other stuff I used to eat, I can no longer eat. So now I had to switch up, and I had to eat the other stuff, which was a challenge. Also, now what I can say is on a lighter note is that years to come, thank goodness, things are hit the camera, sorry. Things are much better where you have a lot of companies who are coming out with, gluten-free this, soy-free that. That's another one that meant to mention soy. Soy, out of all the other things that will make me bloated and give me pain and all that stuff, soy is the main one. And I found that a lot of foods that use preservatives have soy in them. If you look at a lot of your even meats, because I love turkey sausage, I like to eat it for breakfast in the morning. So the turkey sausage I was buying was from Sam's Club and it was frozen. And I loved it. I loved that turkey sausage. I flipped the pack over one day and it had soy in it, along with sugar. Why you would do that, I have no idea. The barbecue wings that I used to love so much, I used to put in the oven or in the microwave, soy. Most of the products that I was eating had soy in them. And when I ate something, because I just had to have it, and I said, why is my stomach so? And I would turn it over. Mind you, I should have read it while I was in the store. Did I read it? No. I flipped it over and come to find out soy is in it. That's why I'm so bloated. That's why I'm having these little pains and stuff like that. Soy is another thing that my body just does not. So, and I love Chinese food. A lot of the Chinese food has soy in it. So I have to go to the Chinese restaurant, and if I'm sitting down and eating, what do you have that doesn't have soy in it? Or if I go to one of the restaurants like in a shopping mall or something like that, what do you have that doesn't have soy in it? And normally it's the white rice and it's the shrimp, and I think it's the teriyaki chicken some of them have that doesn't have the soy. But I have to ask that question. What is it? Does any of this stuff have soy in it? Does any of this stuff have dairy in it? Does any of this stuff have tomatoes? I have to check on all of that. So I don't do a lot of eating out. If in fact I do that, I have to do my research. So if a friend or a loved one of mine is saying, let's go here, I get on the computer, I look at the menu, and I say, what is it that I can eat that I'll be safe that they have? And one of the places I went to, Longhorn Steakhouse, and it was my first time going. And I looked at their menu online. They had salmon that was cooked in, I think, olive oil or something like that. They had asparagus. I could eat that. They had asparagus, and they had white rice. I was safe. Now, mind you, I was safe to a degree because it depends on, because you can't see back there in the kitchen, it depends on how they prepare their food. And see, that's another thing. If I eat something from a restaurant and it seems to be safe, it's all the things that I can eat that don't bother me, and then I eat it and it bothers me, that means that it's how they're preparing it is what my body does not like. So maybe it's a certain type of oil that they're sauteing in or whatever have you. I don't know. But then I know you can't eat from that restaurant anymore, or you just can't order that dish from their restaurant. So like I said, it's walking on eggshells. But a lot of the society now, this world, there's a lot of companies in this world now that provide, you have restaurants that are vegan and have all these choices. Now, vegan isn't always the best for me because there's a lot of beans involved and nuts and all that stuff. So even that, I have to be careful. With all that, I have to be careful with grains and stuff. My body does not like grains. I can't eat cookies. Like anything processed. All my cookies have to be homemade. And I have to search for that. I was ordering cookies from New York because they were like vegan cookies. It was just raisins it was oats, it was, the basic stuff. It was oat flour, which doesn't bother me. It was, basic stuff. So I had to order them from New York. They started going downhill, so then I had to do some more research and find another one until I learned a recipe, learn how to make them myself. I have to seek this stuff out. But nowadays in society, we have the vegan restaurants. We have the vegan options in almost every restaurant that you have, that you go to. Your supermarkets carry a lot of products that people, like a lot of allergy-free products. Like some people can't have soy, dairy, gluten, all this stuff. A lot of the supermarkets now carry it, and even some of your, what you call your regular supermarkets like Pathmark and Giant and stuff, they have sections with this stuff in it. So it's good now that, I feel comfortable going out knowing that I'm able to purchase some stuff that I can actually, eat. Because the only thing I drink is water and tea, and all of the teas don't agree with me. I had some green tea one day and I said, oh, this should be fine. I should be fine with the green tea. Couldn't drink the green tea. Green tea was not it for me. So I stick with water, and I stick with ginger. It's lemon and ginger tea, and it's by Twinings. And sometimes I use other brands, but that's the most. Anything with ginger in it tends not to bother me. And I want to learn how to add ginger to some of my meals. I had to adjust all of my recipes because I have a book of recipes. So I had to take those recipes and I had to adjust all of them to my current dietary needs, which was a lot, and I'm still working on it because I want to add some more stuff and I want to mix it up and know what this. So I may end up trying to search out a chef or cooking school or something that can teach me about foods and the flavors and things that go well together and all that stuff. Beets is one. I never liked beets, but guess what? Your girl eating beets because, okay, your girl is eating beets. And I learned how to cook them. Saute them with some balsamic vinaigrette. And I think it was cherry too. I can't remember, but I need to go pick up some more. With some olive oil and vinaigrette with salt and pepper. Tastes good. Tastes really good. So I'm still working on it. It's still a journey, and I'm going to try and do my best to provide as much information about my ongoing existence with IBS and share some, some food. And if there's anything new that comes out, anything I think would be beneficial for anyone, I will definitely share it because I was a chocolate ice cream person. Chocolate person, period. Chocoholic. And when it was suggested that I stay away from it, hard. It was so hard to deal with. But after a while, you think about it and you adjust. And then I said, you know what? Either I'm going to do this or I'm going to end up in a hospital. So I chose to eat properly, but I did find some ice cream that, believe it or not, is avocado based. And it is chocolate. And I looked the ingredients: no dairy, no soy, no gluten whatsoever. It is vegan ice cream. I could not believe it. And when I ate it, it did not bother me at all. No bloating, no none of that stuff. So everything is improving for those who have all of these different digestive issues, intestinal issues, all this stuff. It's all improving. You don't have to medicate yourself continuously just to eat certain foods and stuff. It's in the works. The world has changed. There's now better options. They got things, vegan foods tasting almost just as good, if not as good as your normal food, because I've had some. I've definitely had some. Like I said, these options are being offered now all over the place. I always go to Like I said, Asian food is one of my favorites, and also Indian food. I can always get something from Indian food, and basic grilled chicken, basic rice, with the garlic naan and all that stuff. Perfectly good, and I'm perfectly fine with it. And I didn't mention another thing that really tears me up is peppers, especially green peppers. Green peppers will send my little self to the bed, where I would just be laying in bed rubbing my stomach because completely bloated and watered. It's horrible. Peppers, something I used to love to eat, can't eat no more. So it's a journey. I think it's worth it. It has taught me discipline. Not being so quick to have something all the time. So when we go through these trials and stuff, it's a reason for it. It's a reason for it. You can learn something for it. It makes you better. From it makes you better. I'm now disciplined. I can go somewhere and it could be a plus. Cornbread is another one. I can't even eat corn, but I could go there, and I used to love cornbread, sorry, and corn. But I could look at a pan of cornbread on the table and somebody tell me, you want some? No, thank you. And it doesn't bother me because I'm now disciplined as to know I can't have that, but there are some things I can have, and that I'm able to eat healthy, and I do not have to worry about being sick and pain and all this other here stuff and go through the motions, because those motions, I do not want to do that every 2 weeks and go through that or more. It's just too much. So that's why sometimes I may mention to people, like I said, I don't want to be no nag, whatever. I just know how it feels to not be able to eat what it is you need, want to eat. And feel okay with it. You don't want to eat something and then you double over, or you're rubbing your stomach because you bloated, because that's a sign. When you eat something and you get bloated like that, that is a sign that your stomach is in disagreement with what you just ate. And a lot of us don't know that. That's what your stomach is telling you. Your digestive system is saying to you, I do not like what you just ate. And the bloating says, I don't know what to do with it. It's creating, and I did some research, it creates all of that gas and stuff like that because it doesn't know what to do with it. It's working, trying to figure out, what is this? This is not normal. I do not like this. This should not be in here. Sometimes when you first eat something that your body is not used to, I noticed about myself, I don't know about anyone else, is that you get diarrhea. Sometimes you get diarrhea, and it'll send it right out. Your body will say, I don't like this, we getting rid of this right now. But what happens is you keep eating it, and now your body's like, okay, this is getting to be too much. And it just starts to sit because it becomes overwhelming, because you just keep put it in and your body doesn't have enough time to remove it. So you just keep adding. It just keeps building up. That's where weight gain comes. And the thing about it is we think that all of the weight that we carry is fat. It is not. It is not all fat. A lot of it is waste. It's the stuff that we ate that our bodies do not know what to do with. So it sits. It is sitting right there. It's just sitting. It doesn't know where to go. So it sits there. And then it causes a lot of, skin problems, hair issues, all of that stuff, coupled with a little bit of stress now. No, don't get it twisted. It's not all that, but it causes a lot of unnecessary issues. If we would just, eat healthier, we would be fine. Like I said, I don't be no nag. I'm just putting it out there. You don't want to go through what I'm going through. People look at me, oh, you so thin. That's nice. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm thin. Oh, you look good. I appreciate that. But you don't want to get to where I got in the loss of weight because of an intestinal disorder, because that's what it is. I say digestive, because it's your intestine has to do with digestion. So I say digestive, but it's an intestinal disorder. You don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. You do not want to do that. You don't want to lose weight that way. That is not, you don't want to go through, you dropping 30 pounds in a span of 2 to almost 3 weeks. It might have just been 2. And then, you just look sick, and I changed a completely different color, all of that. It was a hot mess. You don't want to lose weight like that. You do not want to do that. You don't want to do it. You want to get on the right path. You don't want the laying on the table and the doctor talking about, well, you won't have to have surgery because your arteries are clogged, or you're gonna have to take high cholesterol medicine to bring your cholesterol levels down, because or high blood. You don't want to do that. You do not want to live the rest of your life on medication. You do not want to live the rest of your life walking on eggshells, and you can't pretty much eat what you want. It's okay to eat and have all this other stuff, this the junk food and stuff and the pizza every once in a while. That's fine. But you don't want to go there. So like I said, I don't want an egg. Don't want an egg. Okay, don't want an egg. Right? I don't want an egg. Well, what I want to say to people is that please take care of yourself. You only have one body. It will not be replaced. Do the very best you can for yourself. Take care of yourself. And if you have any questions, this video is going on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube. Just drop your comments in the section below, and I will definitely respond if you have some questions, or even if you just want to talk. It's not a problem. Okay? So I hope you got something out of this, and I will see you soon. All right? Take care and have a great, great, great evening. Bye-bye.